Herbert Walker Bush was America's last great soldier statesman, a 20th century founding father. An imperfect man, he left us a more perfect union.
But he is gone, irrevocably gone. So now we have loosed our grip upon him, but we shall always retain his memory in our hearts.
The best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
It is a national day of mourning for our nation's 41st President, George Herbert Walker Bush, who is on board Special Air Mission 41, that beautiful United States of America Boeing 747 that has just landed at Ellington Field. And they are taxiing over to the ramp where the hearse has been waiting. Dignitaries and friends and military members have all been in place for the better part of almost an hour right now. And that delegation, Doug, waiting there at Ellington Field, just a fraction of all of the people paying their respects, not just across Houston, but all across the country on this National Day of Mourning. The casket inside of the hearse will be escorted to St. Martin's Episcopal Church, where people will be able to pay their respects. Open visitation starts this evening, and it continues through tomorrow, Thursday morning, for a funeral that will take place. Yeah, it's going to be at the Texas A&M campus, obviously, in the Bush Presidential Library. What we're going to see unfold here is basically what you've seen unfold multiple times already. And once they park the aircraft, military members, the pallbearers will bring the casket in full military style, as you have seen. Nothing will really be much different, but it is dignified. It is moving to watch every single time we see it. When someone like this has passed away, and the connection to the military is something that runs so very deep, obviously, in the Bush family. The president's story, very famous and historic, about his mission in Japan, dropped his bombs when his plane was on fire, hit his objective, got his target taken care of, and then, you know, got back out over the ocean, because back then you did not want to ditch your plane on or crash land, because you knew that your life was probably going to be over. And he famously got that aircraft out over water, told his crew to bail out. Unfortunately, they would not survive that bailout. He did survive, obviously. Spent quite a number of minutes and hours in the ocean, and famously was rescued. But again, you know, the connection to the military so deep, as he is welcomed back here to Ellington, and you will see military members on the ramp as he arrives. And without question, there'll be a sizable contingent, I'm sure, at Texas A&M tomorrow. And Doug, we know presidential funerals are things that presidents take part in planning. We saw on Twitter from Jim McGrath, he shared kind of funny moment when he was presenting some of the plans to the 41st president. The president asked, "Do you think anyone will come?" Right. So we're going to allow them to taxi into position. We will go back in live as it warrants here as our coverage continues on CBS 11 News at 5 o'clock of the return of 41 to his beloved home, adopted hometown of Houston. Right now at 5 o'clock, as we had mentioned, a national day of mourning for our 41st president, George Herbert Walker Bush. Loved ones, friends, dignitaries all gathered in Washington, D.C. earlier this morning for the state funeral. Maybe you saw some of it or all of it. And tonight, Texans now have their chance to bid a final farewell to Mr. Bush. We do have team coverage of the ceremonies honoring his life. J.D. Miles is in Houston, where the former president will lie in repose this evening. We begin with political reporter Jack Fink with a look at the day filled with tears and laughter.
Well, Gilma and Doug, a lot of emotions on display today. Saying farewell to a president is always a historical event, but today even more so. The former president was eulogized by another former president, his son.
We're going to miss you. Your decency, sincerity, and kind soul will stay with us forever.
Former President George W. Bush paid tribute to his father, former President George H.W. Bush, and he marveled at the 73 years of marriage he shared with former First Lady Barbara Bush until earlier this year.
He was dedicated to her totally. After Mom died, Dad was strong, but all he really wanted to do was hold Mom's hand again.
He gave us a window to the final time he would ever speak to his father during a late-night phone call last Friday.
I said, "Dad, I love you and you've been a wonderful father." And the last words he would ever say on earth were, "I love you too."
There was a lot of love for the nation's 41st president, and one of his good friends, former U.S. Senator Alan Simpson of Wyoming, suggested the letter L could be a fitting epitaph.
For loyalty. It coursed through his blood. Loyalty to his country. Loyalty to his family. Loyalty to his friends.
Loyalty to his country. Presidential historian and biographer John Meacham described Mr. Bush, a Navy pilot who was shot down during World War II, as America's last great soldier statesman.
Strong and gracious, comforting and charming, loving and loyal. He was our shield in danger's hour.
For at least one moment in time, it may have seemed we were all part of the Bush family.
A great and noble man. The best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
I thought that was such a powerful moment at the end there when he tapped the casket.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but wonder as we're listening and watching this funeral today, what a life, what a man, and all the different hats that he wore, you know, from the resume to the, you know, the family man, the patriarch.
You think the span of 8 decades in your life, you would think that the hope is to get to the end, and that the words dignity and the words respect are used widely to describe you. I think in your heart you would feel that way, but that's not an easy journey for a lot of people to live an entire life and then still end up there, and those words are echoed today over and over and over again.
Yeah, repeatedly.
And we were, oh, sorry,
No,
Jack.
go ahead.
I was going to say, we were talking earlier that the Bush family is known for weeping and crying, but we saw a lot of tears of joy, too. We saw many people take the tissue, wipe tears out of their eye, because there were so many lighthearted moments, so many memorable moments.
Yeah, I mean, the friends that they had on there, Senator Simpson from Wyoming, I mean, just had a lot of people in stitches today.
And he was the butt end of a joke, too,
yes,
from the former President George W., too.
Yes, he was. I mean, and you could tell the rapport there. People were wondering, well, why didn't, you know, Secretary of State Baker, you know, give the eulogy today? And I think he was so close. You saw at one point he really was choked up in tears when the pastor was recalling the final moments of the former president's life. But I think Senator Simpson provided that laughter and a lot of it today for good measure.